Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos and tutorials. As you can see on your screen in this video today, we're going to check out how Ubisoft spent 2.1 million on influencers to secure the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Although this secure the launch is kind of tricky and something to discuss about. This article is currently on LinkedIn, which I will post the link in my video description. And LinkedIn is, for all of you who don't know, I guess biggest business social network where you can find a job, hire people and so on, and it's a topic of itself, but from time to time you can find really interesting and insightful articles like this. Article is made by Nick Lombardi, which is, as you can see, co-founder at Streamforge, and I have opened the Streamforge website page to check out what they are doing. So they are actually a company for connecting influencers to your marketing team, to basically, if you want to hire an influencer for your marketing campaign, I guess they connect you to it. So it seems like a really serious company, lots of interesting stuff. Also some prices to check out who is into it, but as much as I understood from this article, Ubisoft didn't hire Nick Lombardi and Streamforge. They weren't hired by Ubisoft, so yeah, that's maybe why they made this article. Just kidding. But so what I wanted to say is that all those numbers here in article are not 100% sure, and you should not believe anyone and trust to anyone 100%. And somewhere, yeah, here it's even they even say that budgets are estimates based on public available data and so on. But again, I think this article is kind of it has its own weight, because the guy who made it is in that business. It's not someone who is like amateur or someone who is completely out of the industry, but the guy who actually works with influencers and so on. So I guess the numbers which we will see here are close to real. There are lots of interesting numbers here, but I will try to keep this as short as possible. And you can see how actually Ubisoft revealed the Japan set project back in September 2022. So it's almost 3 years in development. So 3 years before they publish the game, they start with some kind of activity, which is also, as I already said in also some previous videos, these all of this information is very valuable to you if you're into production of games or some kind of digital content and so on, just to learn from other people's how they do it with big companies also, but also from their mistakes, but how all of those jobs are now, and campaigns are very, very serious in terms of not only the money, but the scope in and numbers in people, in years time, budgets on different things, not only money. Also, there is info about who they collaborated with in terms of brands, like some names which I don't really know or care. This is interesting. They sponsored, it seems like something which they sponsored with Red Bull. Parkour guys which were actually jumping in the real world and performing stunt like exhibition like jumps which is remake of the jump of the leap of faith in the game itself. So this is the style of jump you make in game. So I guess this actually makes sense, and it looks cool in terms of although it's a bit of scary and not recommended for just anyone. Then they sponsor some kind of Twitch drops program, which is, I guess, some kind of skins and items for the game, which again is from their point of perspective free, in terms of they're not buying real world swords and armor and giving it to people, but giving just digital content. Then Lo-Fi Girl collaboration with immensely popular Lo-Fi Girl channel to release 20-track album of lo-fi remixes from the game's soundtrack, creator program, and we finally come to what I was interested in, and that's how much they spend in on social networks and people who are famous on those networks. So you have some kind of tables and data in terms of platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and so on, so you can compare is this valuable for you in terms of some kind of learning curve, and how much they spend and what they get in return. Again, from for me, again, just as more as trivia, like information and something which I like to read from time to time, just to see where the industry is going, where the AAA is going, big names, big companies, and so on. Although I don't agree with most of the stuff they do, but it's crazy just to see those numbers. So, for example, they had 86 millions of YouTube views, from which they sponsored like 4%, almost 5%. So they paid for 5% of it. 6% of TikTok and 14% of Twitch. So, for example, you can see if I read the number well, and you can correct me in the comments, they have spent more money, 14% of budget, but received only under quote marks, only 20 millions of views. And to be more precise, only 2.7 millions from that money, compared to YouTube, which they spend less, 3 times less money, but received more views. So again, they spend 14% to get 2.7 million views on Twitch, and 3 times less, 4.4% on YouTube, and raised almost, it's not 2 times, but 1 million more views, 3.7 views. So spent less on YouTube and get more views than on Twitch. But again, I'm not sure, I cannot read from this data how much of those views are transferred into people who buy game, and how much of people and people who watch Twitch or YouTube, what kind of public is there in terms of spending money and their spending habits. I guess Twitch people are people who watch Twitch, they spend more on games probably, but not sure. I don't know, I don't have that data, I'm not into that on professional level. I have no idea. It makes sense for me that Twitch is game streaming mostly, so, but it doesn't have to convert well into spending. Maybe it's just some kind of kids who don't have money or whatever. Anyway, you have some kind of percentages there, budget allocation breakdown also. You can see that almost half of the budget went to Twitch. So those are interesting, probably to people who know those platforms well. And you can see how much of that costed in CPM cost efficiency. So this is really interesting. Demographics in terms of targets for different countries and the different languages and so on, like German, United States, United Kingdom, and so on. The most interesting thing to me, at least, is how much they allegedly, and I want to emphasize that because we don't know that in details, allegedly they spent to top creators, and you can see on your left in this table top creators card. On the left you have the creator's name, in the middle the platform on which that creator is working on, and on the right you have how much it costs to hire that guy. So the first one is some kind of I don't know those guys, so I will probably pronounce them wrong, and I really don't care much. Hassan Abi, which made $76,000. Ilo Juan 72. Your Rage Gaming, yeah, 50,000, and so on. So there is another, there are oh no, this is the two guys. I thought the second guy from the top is this Juan, or Juan, and we have it that guy also under the Auron, but this time he is on YouTube, and the first time he was on Twitch. So he made 72,000 on Twitch and 28 on YouTube, which is exactly $100,000. That's what I wanted to share most in terms of what do you think about those numbers, and how crazy the world today is, that you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to some people for just playing your game. And I'm almost sure I will, maybe if I have time, I probably won't, but if I get really bored, I will maybe just try to use Google search or YouTube search for these creators and go to their Twitch and YouTube channels and try to find Assassin's Creed videos to check how did they play it, and did they even promote it in some terms of like normal terms, like which would made me or someone buy it. I would probably bet that they just did it like with in autopilot mode with half a brain used, and who cares, like if they can take this money, this is easy money, why not take it? But again, I think that even these companies cannot force them to promote this aggressively and in some kind of stupid way, like to tell it, buy this, this is the best, because after a couple of those promotions, if they do a couple of different games, people would probably stop following them. It's simple as that. On the other side, again, these numbers, I think they go crazy, although this is not I will make few videos next on similar topics, so this is not it can go even worse, but again, compared to most for what most of the people earn, not only today in this economy but in general, it's crazy to see that you can earn like $100,000 for couple of hours, maybe even less, for playing a game, and you can literally buy a small house or apartment in some kind of not only third world country but also smaller European countries, in suburb or some kind of smaller city, a small apartment or some kind of house, or in some village or suburb. So you can literally fix your life with this amount of money. And I think they give some kind of topics and ideas. Oh, this is also interesting. The guy who made this article said it at the end. I also see they sponsor Tyler 1, which seems quite random. He streamed the game for 2 hours, then immediately went back to League of Legends. So this guy obviously likes League of Legends, played professionally or whatever. So League of Legends is his game. They paid him to play Assassin's Creed. He did that for 2 hours, shut it down, and get back to his game. And this guy says, I believe this is not a winning formula for showcasing your game on Twitch. So funny, yeah. What else I did search for? I searched for how much it cost to develop this game, to compare it to some other titles, modern and titles which I talked about in previous videos, and I see some number from 250 to $300 million that it costed. Yeah, so on the Steam community they even double it. Most of the time, the most numbers which I see is from 250 to 350, and I don't know how they say 700, because marketing is probably 250 to 350 is basic development, and the rest of it, probably the same amount, is used for marketing, which is crazy, and which I talked about earlier in previous videos, and I will in some of the next videos. But this is interesting. They need to sell around 7 million copies to break even. It costed around 250 million, so $250 million, but that's, as I said before, basic development. It seems, again, take these numbers with reserve. This is more speculation than everything. Then add around 60% on top as marketing to grow onto 400 millions, and they give some kind of info on how much copies you have to pay for to buy for breaking even. There are some even for $130 for game, which is crazy. Then they count 30% of Steam cut. Best case scenarios 4 million copies, worst case 7 million. Again, very rough estimates, but it will be fun to see if they will do it, because Ubisoft is in lots of problems itself nowadays, but that's another story and a topic of itself. This is the guy who made $76 million, so yeah, just don't try to blame him or shame him. Congrats to him, whatever he does. I don't know the guy, but I would take that money. Why not? In terms of, if I don't have to praise them, just play the game and say my opinion. But I see some people even say that he is like some kind of socialist, yeah. But again, that's all very, very relative today. And on this site, Fandom Pulse, Substack.com, you can see how long those streamers were playing the game, which is really, really important to see in terms of, for example, they earned 70 or 50 to, let's say, from $30,000 to $70,000 in average. So this one is 25, the first one is 76, so mostly it goes from 20 to 70, and it seems that they played like 2 hours in average, 2 to 3 hours. Oh, this guy Juan, he was playing 7 hours. He made like, I think, 100,000. Yeah, these numbers are interesting, very in terms of, at least to me, just to see how economy is going crazy. And yeah, this is not related to this topic, but it was funny to me because the name of this guy, and his second name Piker, if it's pronounced like that, literally few moments before I found this article, I was watching some kind of YouTube shorts on I think Wolf of Wall Street, where Leonardo DiCaprio is going for the first time on his job as a broker or something like that. And before he meets Matthew McConaughey, he meets some other guy who is like his boss, but he's trying to bully him and make him stupid, sit down, like work without raising your head and so on. Then Matthew McConaughey shows up and calls that guy a piker. So I was laughing on it, like not only because I'm into etymologies, as I was talking in one of the previous videos, but also on those things like synchronicity and so on. So a few moments before I read the article on the piker, I see the video about piker, the Matthew McConaughey calling a guy piker in some YouTube shorts. So I Google it to see what that means, because I understood it's some kind of insult or joke, but I didn't get it. And so it's a gambler who makes only small bets, persons who withdraws from a plan commitment, and so on. Again, just a funny idea, but I don't think it's accidental, and I don't believe in coincidence myself. Anyway, that's the end of this video. It wasn't short as I thought. I thought it would be like 10 to 15. It's 20 minutes and more, but in general, I think these videos from time to time I will make them on my channel, because I think they are interesting, not only if you're into game development, IT and so, but in general as economy and how that relates to your life, or in terms of for how much you earn, where do you work from or for who, and so on, compared to those topics like people paying 700 million for making some kind of video game. Is it crazy or is it normal? That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you in next one. Bye for now.